Now, remember what Mary Magdalene said about a vision, right? It's in your mind. You see the vision. No one else. You. Right. When you hear a voice, it's in your mind, right? No one else heard the voice that Paul heard, but Paul. It's in your mind. Satan too. Right. You're still a child of the devil. Admit it and move on. We all are. If you're a positive blood type, me too. I'm a child of the devil, 50-50. Right. But he denies it. The devil himself. That he was in the flesh of Eden. Right. He killed himself, right? After having the daughter of the devil himself with Adam, who came married. Right? You need a female to marry. Unless there was another hermaphrodite there, because hermaphrodites are in the gene pool, and the sperm or the egg is what is XY or XX. Right? Do you get that? Right? The sperm from the male with the hermaphroditism gene is XY. Mm-hmm. The egg from the female, she can be XXX, triple X. Not going into porn there, but you can. I don't judge you. Right. But you can watch porn to learn about sex, but it's for the camera, so don't do that with your wife. Hello. You can even buy books on sex if you're a certain age, right? Though I bought one at 14. Told you that too, right? It's all about sex, baby. It's all about you and me. It's all about all the good things and the bad things that make we. Let's talk about sex. Have you heard that song? I have. Who am I talking to? A bunch of morons who don't know this planet is just as sexually active as it's wanting to murder over sex. Which is what the devil taught you too. Let's just kill each other over who you want to call your lover. And whether you're a concubine or a wife to the king, or a Shulamite woman in Song of Solomon's, she had his fruit in her mouth. That don't mean an apple from the apple tree. Though she compared him to the apple tree in the way the fruit tasted in her mouth. I don't know what that means. It's too great for me. Or is it? Or you can't handle the truth. But you got to. Because only the truth can make you free. Right? We're stuck here because of one being in heaven who came down to earth and sinned with us. Then the other ones join him, right? It don't matter if it's DNA manipulation now. Mm-hmm. They don't even gotta look like us to be with us. You know what I mean, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if alien autopsy shows anything right, but they look like a 9-year-old girl. The aliens in the autopsy anyway. And I'm sure it's some kind of reenactment. I don't freaking know. I didn't shoot the damn video, but still. Something crashed. And they showed you maybe the picture of a weather balloon or something, right? But we know all this is the government. And they lie too. It's called top secret when it's a government lie. Right. And that's why people don't believe that, man. Either you make a big deal about it or you act stupid about it. But either way, something fucking happens. Excuse me right there. F-U-C-K. Fornication. unlawful, carnal, knowledge. Even DNA manipulation is exactly that. Now, the Gnostics also talk about the race, a race of perfect men, right? But they're not created just through DNA alone, right? Until the sex with the fallen one, as he became as well, and the fallen ones who followed him in Genesis chapter 6. They had until the flood too with all their technology from heaven. That's why you're seeing all this weird stuff in the past, right? Hello, scientists, right? They were beings from another dimension though too, right? In the third dimension. If there's a fourth dimension, that's what it means. That's why we can't see it. We were cut off from it after the fall too. There are cherubims in heaven, 2 or more. There are 2 at least on the ark. The cherub who sinned with us and iniquity was found in his heart is Lucifer, Veyadauw, Satan, Hasatan, right? The devil, right? Beelzebub, the real Lord of the Flies. So Jesus is Lord of all, even Beelzebub. You understand? But you're so bad, I guess. He tempts you like Job. He can, right? But it's to make you good too if you understand Job. Job did something different. The men in his day, when him and his wife started reproducing again, what did he do? Jews and Christians. What was different that he didn't do at the beginning that he did at the end of the book? Who also did he give an inheritance to? His daughters. Are you deaf, man? Are you missing the whole story? Right? He was doing something wrong. He favored his sons above his daughters. That's just as much of a sin from Satan, as if, again, who sinned first or last, right? Eve had to be made in her own body, right? Not Adam. And like with the description of the valley of dry bones in Ezekiel, you start with the rib and the flesh you take from Adam to make her. The rib you use for her skeletal system, right? Hello. And then the flesh you use for the rest of her body, right? Which are the ovaries and the fallopian tube. You take the womb and pull it out, then it becomes a scrotum, idiot. Bam! There you are, Adam, male. Now, Adam female is made independently of him. And no, there were not 2 trees, Brother Price. In the middle, there's only 1 tree in the midst of the trees of the garden. What is his name? Jesus. Who is the true angel of the Lord? The other angel was by the fig tree. He was not in the middle of the garden. Therefore, Eve did not think she was even sitting with him. Hello? Doesn't that make more sense? Now, the other thing is, if Christ was slain before the foundation of the world, the only way he can do that is if Satan tried to slay the tree of life first, to seduce Adam and Eve first, made him a little stone spear, like the Roman lance, and struck him while he was asleep. But he didn't know, and the Lord woke him up, and he walked up and down. Right. When you walk up and down, is that not up and down? Right. If you walk around, that's different, right? Why would the tree of life walk up and down, or the voice, right, or the word of God walk up and down in the middle of the trees of the garden, right? Then he's perfectly in the middle of the trees of the garden, right? Never leaves the middle. Satan, though, can do what? Walk around, walk around. He was over by the fig tree when evil tempted. Now, another problem is, did they eat of the fig tree until after the serpent speak to her in front of it, or by it, or in it? Usually the serpent is pictured entangled in the limbs of the fig tree. Now, your anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. Don't get that either, right? A bigger serpent on a hermaphrodite would also be a worm on a hermaphrodite. Because they are earthworms and snails that are used to hermaphroditic. Now, the writers of the Bible seem to be saying this. You have no clue. It can't see you in your things. Because Satan, the God of this world, has blinded you from the truth, lest the glorious gospel of Jesus Christ shine into your heart, and you fully be forgiven and repent. This sin affects all the children born to Satan, Adam, and Eve, Cain and his wife, till now. Not one soul is not in this sin, no matter even if you're RH negative. Right? Our blood may have been clear as snow, white like a stream. Why? Right. Red blood, you know when you're cut. White blood, you don't know when you're cut. And it's not white, it's clear like a stream. Right? It's not white or red. Hello? Picture a stream, though, running through your veins, right, where there's only white plasma, right, and blood, but no iron. Oh, no. No red. What does iron do in water? Rust. It corrodes water easily, right? What color does iron look like in water? Rusty. Reddish. Right. Though your sins be as scarlet, not Johansson, they shall be white as what? Snow. His head and hair were white as wool and what? Snow. Right. I told you. You got the girdle girt about his waist and not his paps, right? Trying to show you that too, right? The chest area, right? Not the waist, not with the and thurbin and all that stuff, or breastplate, right? He has the breast. The priest does not have the breast. He's a man, a son of Adam, the fallen one, with Satan, who he became as to know good and evil with him. Right. Until then, they were all pleasurable in day 6. Right. Until day 7. Right. In fact, like I said, we do not even know if we're not still in day 7. And it's a 24-hour day. And that means 24,000 years in God's time. But what do I know? I'm not reading the Bible? Yes. I ain't reading the Gnostic Gospels? Yes. You're not. When Constantine took over the church, he did sabotage. He sabotaged the core belief between the Gnostics and Orthodox, and like he had a heresy or choice, right, chose the Orthodox Roman Emperor Bill that he is over the androgynous Jesus in the Gnostic Gospels. Now, if you're one and yet you're all, you're not two like us, right? But we're both from you, right? You could be all three of us and still be greater than us, right? But men have been blinded by the lying god of this earth, Satan. Right? He lied that God was good and evil. Until his fall, they were not, right? Even if they keep falling with him, which is another theory I have. Right, right. And the reason for that is we got 4,000 more years before the day of tribulation is over, right? 4. 6 from 10 is what? 4. 4. A day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. Yes, I know he said unless those days be shortened. Right. But compared to what day? How long is a day to God? And they think the earth is 4 billion years, right? But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. When was this? They think 4 billion years for this part of the Milky Way, I guess, right? And the planet Earth herself, right? They multiplied it times 3, I guess. Plus 2. or 3, to get around 15 billion years old anyway. I know. For the total age of the universe, right? So see, when you make something, it usually comes from a center point out, right? Right. Well, we're on the furthest, right? Not the center of the universe, not even the Milky Way galaxy. And there are other galaxies, right? By the way. Not one universe, multiple universes, right? And that's why we don't know if these aliens are again causing RH negative people to experience visions of them, right? Because only they see the vision, right? Of being abducted, right? Well, that's no different than someone seeing an angel, right? Like in the Bible, talking or speaking to them, right? Now, Isaiah saw a vision of the Lord, and Hosea, Jeremiah, right? Maybe not, right? Ezekiel, Moses, the people around Moses, right? Abraham, Isaac. Isaac was kind of a no-brainer. He didn't have a lot of visions, right? But Jacob and Joseph did, right? The other 11 brothers didn't like him, I guess, too much, right? And sold him into slavery for 20 shekels of silver, around 17 to 20 years old, right? That's his price for a difficult vow as a male child in the Lord, right? Yet the Lord was valued at 30 shekels. What's that have to do with anything? That's the price of a woman, right? Not a man. The seed of the woman, right, who is not a woman, right, or a man, right, is the only seed that can conquer the serpent's seed, right? Why is that? Well, either Christ, like I said, is born of a true hermaphrodite to be one, right? And Mary didn't know what she was and played with it and got pregnant by herself. It's possible, son. But they don't tell you this in Sunday school class. Sunday school class is because not a lot of people really go out to church anyway, right? Not a lot of people want to understand all this, right? And even if they do, they don't, right? All the time, right? Even people who have read this think they can deny it, right? And still get into heaven. Okay. I hope you're right. I don't know. My God just don't want me to lie about it, right? If I do figure it out. Then I'm to tell you the truth about it and not lie. It's all. I know. And like I said, I'm sitting here watching TV, right? Christian shows, right? Doesn't see much of the movies on TV, right? I know. And it's what day, right? The 3rd of July, right? Right. I know. Exactly. And see, when they're showing you their doctrine, right? They're probably showing you what they think you can handle of it, right? But then it becomes like a merry-go-round, right? They don't show you more. They only show you what they're comfortable with, right? But when you read about the Levite and his concubine, right, which uses the same word as used in Genesis, Veyadauw, right, you see there that the men are gay. Now, what's a Veyadauw type of knowing? It's something both by gay men. Right. What do they want with the Levite? What kind of sex do they want with him? Gay. That means what kind of sex? But if they're knowing her, knew her, until morning, right, they're probably doing both holes. Some would probably do one hole and some would do the other. They're abusing her, right? Raping her. We might call it ravished, right? Right. King James would call it ravished her. Both naturally and obscurely, right? I only do natural sex, right? Now, I don't do obscure or abominable sex, right? Well, the abominables, I mean, whatever, right? I don't know. You have to figure these things out, because when the story is written several thousand years from what you're writing anyway, it's still an educated guess. Now, what Moses means is he thinks Eden had to do with confusion over which kind of trees they weren't supposed to eat of in Eden, right? Whether it was a fruit tree or one of the angels. Right? Now, why could we eat of all the trees of the garden, right, but one? Right? Why is it called the tree that would bring with its eating the knowledge of good and evil? I mean, like I said, did Adam take a banana and shove it up his butt? I know that's funny, don't laugh. But it would only be the only way to use a fruit for the knowledge of good and evil? No. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But is it about that only? I know. You know, what did Eve do? Stick it in her butt and try to get Adam to stick it in his? I know. No. And usually with a piece of fruit, what does it involve? An apron, a covering for probably the lower half of your body anyway. An apron up here is nothing to do with nudity. I know. It is to keep the food off your clothing, maybe. If you're a messy eater. Like a baby's bib. So, you only put a baby's bib on the baby, right? Or someone who's a messy eater. But it has nothing to do with being naked and ashamed. Nope. But sex always can equal naked and ashamed if the one doing it with you wants you to think it evil. Now, like I said, does this mean two gay couples who are in love can't do the love that speaks no name? Right. Or the love that says not its name, whatever it is, right? Is that about butt sex alone? No. Not really. It's also how he did it. He did it. It's also, tricking them both, right? And then showing Adam, letting him use both holes, right, of Satan. Right? See, that became an orgy overnight, didn't it? 3 people had a menage a trois, and one of the persons could be with both, right? And I told you, right, you're blinded because men tell you don't watch a sex video. But if you want to see a hermaphrodite, guess what? That's the only video they would be getting, right? That's called cutting off your nose to spite your face. A lot of people do that too. They cut off their nose to spite their face. To spite their face. Because they don't want to see or hear the whole truth, right? Now, another thing about fruit is you can smell if it's good or bad. And you can do the same thing with a woman. Or a man. Right. I guess with a man, I don't know. That part, right. Only been with women, right. Though my shipmates are asking me if I'm gay 3 times, and I'm telling them no 3 times, right? And they're not training me the whole time I'm on the ship, right? So obviously they're trying to force me to do what? I don't know. Or is that why I went out on a mental discharge anyway? It was the only way I had to get an honorable discharge. Because my shipmates, instead of training me, screwed me over. They didn't train me, right? They gave me bad evals, right? I had no control over that either, right? If I don't know what I'm doing and you give me a piece of paper with only the written part of the job on it, I can go to the place I'm supposed to work, right? Like I told you before. But that's it. That's it. The working part of the instructions don't show you what even piece of equipment you're on to work on, only where it's at, right? On the ship. And, one number with the bulkheads means a certain place, right? And one number is port and one number is starboard. I forgot which. It could be even or odd or even. I forgot all that. Ain't been on the ship in a while either, right? Like anything, though.